Much of America grew up watching my next guest as Opie on the Andy Griffith Show. Today, a lot of young people are still glued to their television sets watching him on the hit series Happy Days, which I believe is going into its 7th or 8th season. At 25, he's an accomplished actor, director, and runs his own production company. He's also one of the stars of the new movie, More American Graffiti. Would you please welcome Ron Howard. Ron? You are looking
like
dashing.
That version. Thank you. Thank you.
You got a mustache and
yeah.
And it came out all red, which is great.
Yeah, it was not bad. I tried growing a beard this hiatus because, you know, we're off from Happy Days, and I get a little tired of always looking, you know, 50s with the hair real short. So during the hiatus, I just kind of let it go. It was not real successful.
It wasn't?
Not a great beard.
No, but the mustache is terrific.
Thank you.
And usually with and you got sideburns too.
Yeah.
You're just a mass of hair.
I just got back from Tahiti. Haven't had a haircut in months.
What was it like?
It was great.
Yeah.
Cheryl and I went for 2 weeks and just had a wonderful time.
Is that your first big trip since?
Since our honeymoon.
Isn't that something? Well, that's really nice.
Oh, we had
so
a
now you're
wonderful
anxious
time.
to go back to work, or are you anxious to get
No,
out?
definitely. I'm ready to go.
7th or 8th season?
7th season of Happy Days.
Isn't that wonderful?
It's been good.
In retrospect,
Yes.
and as a director too, did you think it would go 7 seasons?
No.
No.
No, I really felt that although, you know, we did the pilot for Happy Days just prior to doing American Graffiti. We didn't get on the air, and then when Graffiti came out and was a big hit, the 50s were very popular, well then they took Happy Days off the shelf, and we did it. And I really felt that unless the characters were caught on very strong, that, you know, that we would have a life maybe 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah.
But, you know, then like Fonzie became so popular, and people started really watching the show for the characters and not for the fact that people were wearing bobby socks and, you know, had their hair short. And then we were able to continue.
But you really grew up. Your teen years were in the
60s.
60s. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
Well, you know, there was a lot going on, and
You're a California boy.
California, and
Spent a lot of time growing up at the beach?
not too much.
Van Nuys Boulevard?
Not a lot of Van Nuys Boulevard. A lot of basketball court, and yeah, I was really wanted to be a basketball player, and a lot of acting. You know, I continued acting all during that time.
Well, then did you never go to a public school?
Yeah, I did. But I would jump back and forth, and then in between there make Super 8 movies and stuff. You know, so I had 3 or 4 interests going there. Journalism was something I really liked doing. And
what were
then
the
I met
rest of the
Cheryl,
kids
too.
in the school? Oh,
That
yeah,
was
right.
all.
That's right, you did meet in
In
high school?
Yeah.
And the romance went right on? Was there ever a break in the romance after high school?
No. I mean, we went to different colleges, and, you know, we had a very intelligent conversation, a lot like the one that Cindy and I have in the first Graffiti.
Right.
You know, about, well, I'm going to college now and so forth. But we just kept dating. I mean, the love was really there, and we just
Well, that's
we just
a
kept
wonderful
going.
story, isn't it?
Wonderful for me.
Yeah.
Really worked out.
Do you remember exactly how old the two of you were when you met?
Well, we were still 16, both of us.
Right. And then married at
21.
21. That's really nice, because those are years that tend to pull young people apart when you get away to different colleges and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Did you ever try dating anybody else?
No. I mean, I thought about it, and everybody always said, gee, you really should do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you really don't be crazy here. I mean, sure, you're in love with her and everything, but you should date other people. And intellectually, that would make sense, but emotionally, it didn't. And when I had time to go on a date, there was only one person I wanted to call up, and that was Cheryl, and so that's what we did.
More guys now working with their dads. Robbie Benson works with his dad. Ron Howard works with... It's
a nice relationship.
Isn't that a good association? What was he like with you growing up? Was he a tough disciplinarian?
Oh, yeah.
Because you were really a little kid on the sets of Hollywood.
No, he was definitely a disciplinarian. I mean...
Did he ever spank you in front of the crew?
Yes. One time on the Andy Griffith set, he spanked me. Well, I mean, I knew I was going to get it.
Did you?
It was one of those things where my dad always was very consistent. You would do something wrong, you know, and he would explain it to you. And
You
not
got
get angry or anything.
what he
like
promised.
That. Right. Then the next, he would say, now look, if you do that again, I'm going to spank you, so don't do it anymore. And then if you did it again, well, you got spanked. Well, once in a while, a little kid says, hey, I'm going to test him, you know.
Yeah.
And so on the set of the Andy Griffith Show, I tested him. And boom, boom, boom. 3 shots, that's what it always was, right on the rear end there, and it didn't matter. But my dad's feeling was that you had to be consistent, and it didn't matter, and there was none of the, whispering, wait till I get you at home, and the kid kind of thing, I got away with it. He didn't want to embarrass all the people, so,
Wacko.
No, not that,
You know how this is going to come out, don't you?
What?
In the National Enquirer?
Oh.
Producer spanks director.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Is that a direct offshoot of American Graffiti?
No.
You have to be very careful.
Well, we did the pilot. The initial Happy Days pilot was done 9 or 10 months before American Graffiti, and it's just a coincidence that I was cast in both.
I never knew that.
And so then, when Graffiti came out and was very popular, Happy Days had been put on the schedule and taken off because the networks didn't feel that the 50s would work, really.
Yeah.
So then when the movie came out and it was very successful, they thought, well, we should do a 50s project. And they looked around and they had this one that they liked, pretty well, Happy Days. And they said, gee, the same kid's in it who was in the movie too. Why don't we do it? And so they brought it out and they added characters.
Right.
They added the Fonzie character and
Right.
they added Ralph Mouth. But Donnie, he's great. But
Right.
but Anson Williams was in the show from the original, Marion Ross, and we continued it.
It's so strange interviewing Ron Howard because he looks like a brand new player in town, the new young leading man, hot in Hollywood, but he's got more credits. I mean, you are really a veteran in show business, aren't you?
Well,
you've done a lot of things. I read, you did John Wayne's last
The
picture.
Shootist? Yes.
What a fine man he was.
You're not kidding. Oh, great.
Did you
Great
learn
experience?
Anything about filmmaking from him?
Well, you learn a lot about integrity.
Yeah.
When you work with John Wayne,
Yeah.
because he had very strong opinions, and he lived by them. And ultimately, in an argument, he would succumb, but he was not afraid to stand up and be a man about things.
Yeah.
And so that was an important lesson that I learned from him. And also, he gave me one terrific acting tip, which I haven't forgotten since, and I've tried to use, and that is that, particularly when you're doing an emotional scene, that the audience likes to provide a lot of the emotion, and if they're with you and if they're watching the movie, why, they'll do it. Maybe you don't have to show a tear. Maybe they'll show the tear for you in the audience, and then that's better. And so, hold back just a little bit and let the audience have a place to take it to.